A very warm welcome and greeting to each and everyone who are tuning in to this beautiful platform. This online connect that we are having has changed and transformed our celebration, our award functions, and education altogether. Well, I'm sure you would know by now that what I am coming to. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome you all to Education Icon Awards 2020. A platform, an occasion, a celebration to dedicate award to all the amazing personalities out there who have dedicated their life for the good of education. Well, before moving forward, I was just thinking and preparing for today's, this whole event. We are almost coming to the end of 2020. And when we think about, the final month that is going on, that's the month of December, what strikes our mind is nostalgia, all the thoughts that how the year went, right? Most of you and many of you would be thinking, oh, we had lockdown, we had ups and downs, and a lot of things happened this year. And that's when you have good memories, you have bad memories. But let me take you all to the good memories. How life changed in 2020. But when I look back, personally, when I look back to the year 2020, education has changed completely. Teachers who have had no experience of taking online classes have done their best to take online classes for their lovely kids. They have surrendered each and everything and the best they can for their kids. Thank you would be a short word, but on behalf of all the students, all the professional people who are learning also, I want to thank and dedicate this award function to each and every professor, teacher, people who are dealing with education out there. Thank you for making this year 2020 a special one. And with this, let's move forward to Education Icon Awards, a special event, a special function to honor and respect each and everyone who has made education reach every corner. So without much delay, put your hands together for all the awardees of Education Icon Awards 2020. To make the Education Icon Awards 2020, we are really blessed and honored to have with us a beautiful person all the way from City Beautiful Chandigarh, our very own Professor Dr. H.K. Sardana, who is the Chief Scientist of CSIO, has graced the occasion, this online event award function, as the chief guest. And we are really honored to have you with us, sir. Thank you so much for taking out your precious time and blessing us during this award function.
Good evening, teachers and management and institution leaders. My heartiest congratulations to the teachers who are awarded today. It's a great moment for their good work. But there is no end to the good work. We all can improve on it. There is always a journey from good to great. My message to you all, for all gurus and teachers, for all the students and even parents sometimes, my message is to move forward. How to move forward from good to great, how to be more excellent in your own work and in your own institution. So my sharing is from the research institution that I come from, which is Central Scientific Instruments Organization. And our business is to see how we generate knowledge. You all are teachers who are imparting knowledge to the students. We at our place, in a way, generate knowledge, and we go on incrementing knowledge. So in that perspective, I thought I would share some experiences that we have gained in higher education and seeing how the products of yours, when they graduate, when they come as postgraduate students with us, how they fare in the process of knowledge generation, research, innovation, and ultimately employment generation. So the Indian education, known for its great effort, hard work, and students scoring very high, as we all see, the scoring has gone very high. However, there are things that still require introspection, and I would like you to go along with me in thinking those issues. So what are those issues that we have gathered? Some of them come from the situation that on one hand we are generating lot of students, lot of graduates, even scoring very high, and on the other hand industry, workplaces, asking for employment or employment related competencies, or in short we say employability. So where is the issue? Where is the gap between education and employment? What can we do about it? Have we been thinking about those issues? So this is today's few minutes of our interaction, is to think about that. From good to great, where students also don't assume that they are the best because they scored very high, and there's very little gap between 97%, 98% to 100%. So if the scores are high, the education numbers are reasonably good, employability issues are not well met. So that's another reality. The industry tells us that way. And industry sometimes tells us, the Indian students are good at solving problems, but not creating problems. Because somewhere we are missing the way to look at the problem, to see the problems, to identify the problems, and then move on in an open manner to solve those problems. When it comes to other developing or developed nations, their methodology of teaching is slightly different. They go open. They are not bounding themselves towards course curriculum. So they are not bound in that sense. They believe in openness of ideas, questions. Somehow that leverage is what we need to create, that we are missing somewhere. That is one aspect. So on one hand we have coursework, while the other institutions might consider openness in the coursework. Examination system. Do we believe in objectivity in examination or subjectivity in examination? How do we bring in the practical aspects when they create their own projects, activities, and then how do we evaluate them? These are some of the issues that are generally not talked about. I have gathered few points that I thought of sharing, and these are some of them. Some more come in terms of what attitudes we are creating. The education is not just knowledge. Education is attitudes. Education is also towards skills. Education also implies how motivated they are towards openness, towards new issues. Though it may sound somewhat out of blue or not as per syllabus or curriculum, or when we meet the targets as per the time available. In the pandemic situation, we have moved from normal teaching to virtual teaching. So I understand there are already challenges. Every time there are some challenges in every year, every semester. However, the challenges have gone multiplied this time when we have pandemic situation. But there are lessons from this situation as well. Most of you have come to virtual class, Google class or any other mode of virtual teaching. Though with some difficulties that all of us faced, some of us also gathered a lot of advantages. As a lesson, in brief, if I say the pandemic has taught us a lot. It's a jolt from nature, Mother Nature, to all those who want to learn. Whether researchers, whether schools, colleges, institutions, a lot of learning has come from this as well. So this is just to tell you how situations can be made towards the advantage. So few more points. So this topic has been in the vogue for a lot of time, so I don't need to spend too much time on COVID as such, but the point is that every problem that comes to us brings a lot of opportunities. So in a way, when I mentioned about problem solving, we need to take problems as opportunities, and therefore each individual as a resource. So if each student becomes a resource, the teachers, when we consider them as individuals, are no longer individuals, and even the students are not individuals, though they are unique and individuals in themselves. But we can consider, while considering the problems of society, smaller teams, smaller interactions, wherein a teacher may focus on individuals as well. The whole class, of course, may not get into such activities. However, smaller group activities can definitely bring laurels to their attention towards the teacher's attention towards the evaluation, assessment, and even upbringing. So these are some of the views that I am sharing, that there is a way to consider the whole class as small number of teams, where how you form those teams is another issue. That is all creativity. Now at this point, when it comes to creativity, I would also try to address the leaders, the management, the principals, the directors of institutions, who would consider creating such an ambience, creating such an atmosphere where excellence prevails, where the pressure of coursework doesn't impede the creativity. On the other hand, the freedom of expression not just in voice but in activities, brings excellence, brings name, fame to each one who participates in that, or who even doesn't participate, gets inspired by those who are participating. So what do we think such a scenario? Does it mean we need a lot of resources? Does it mean, is it at the cost of coursework? Probably not. In some sense, yes. So what is the true answer? The true answer is, there is a need to reconfigure the way of teaching, the methodology of teaching, wherein we take each student as a member, wherein our job is to impart the coursework, surely. However, the timing, the interaction may have to be increased. How? Now comes the experience of media, virtual media. So can we assume that teachers are connected to the students for almost all the time? Can we afford? That's one challenge for teachers, parents, as well as the management. If we can, then a remote connection can also help. Students, I have seen some of the students are so obsessed with expression of their activities that they will not go away from this kind of scenario. So if we create that situation where students are also having a long term I mean weeks, months, and some kind of semester or year, whichever yearly system, some kind of activities that they are likely to do. Some of them freely of their own, some of them as per the directions, instruction from the teachers. So we are creating a scenario where students excel. On one hand, reading the coursework, going through the coursework. Part of it may remain the conventional, part of it must transform to excellent. Excellent in terms of, excellence in terms of how the students feel, how the teachers feel, and how the institution overall creates an image. How is it possible? Still there are issues. We need to get open. We need to have reach towards society. Are we connecting with the society? Are we connecting with the environment? Where are the problems? So the issue is what are the sources of such problems that we are interested in addressing? The source is the local environment or even the larger environment. A problem like corona can come from anywhere. So the environment is the source of all problems. The issue is, where are we? Are we seeing them? Are we close to the sensitivity of looking at the problems? So at some stage when the students are maturing, if I say class 10th or so, you can decide depending upon their competence, can they move out at times and look at the problems of the society, the real problems of the society. Can they observe? Can they talk about it? Can they appreciate? Can they think about solutions? So our vision or our message for excellence in educational institutions is to see that the students solve the problems and create the problems. So in fact, I would say they create the problems from the environment in which they live in. And so the whole purpose of the education is to see the problems around and be original in first declaring the problem and then letting others follow such a leader in solving the problem. So as a closer of the discussion, if I say, on one hand, we are more in action, doing. So it's like busy. The other hand, we want the young minds to be. So the bigger question is to be doing, that is to be or to do. And this is not complete even. If I were to add the best of the learning that I had from education is to be, to do, to see, to tell. You arrange these in some order. What will be the best for you? To see your wards, students, and largely the environment in the institution. So this is the crux of education, not in terms of coursework, not in terms of syllabus, but in terms of what we learn from whatever is experienced through our life, through whatever we have studied. Have we thought about it? Have we acted upon it? I hope this provocation from me would help you in thinking further about it, and I look forward to your suggestions and questions in any manner that could be of help. Thank you and best wishes. Again, congratulating you for your awards. Thank you.
Having you as our chief guest, Professor Dr. H.K. Sardana, it's such a golden opportunity and honor for each and every one of us at Kites Craft Production. Thank you so much for your golden words and share that you just enriched each and every one of us. We are really obliged and grateful for your time and presence. Well, talking about the next session, I had this golden opportunity of attending one of the most amazing motivational talk I ever came across. And this golden opportunity today on Education Icon Awards 2020 we all are going to witness. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Dr. Dilbag Singh, a motivational speaker and director of Brain Power Services Private Limited. And he is going to stress upon the topic emotional intelligence. A huge round of applause.
Hello everyone, teachers, educators, principals, chairpersons, managing directors, all the distinguished personalities. Basically, we all are teachers. So I welcome all of you in this session. We all are going through a big crisis in the present scenario. A pandemic is, it is going on. So we are fighting with this COVID virus, COVID-19. Though there is a great writer in the name of, Yuval Harari. He has written a wonderful book in the name of 21 Points for 21st Century People. He has written it very clearly that we do have the power to fight with this virus, because virus is not a big problem for us. And of course, in last approximately 8 or 9 months, we have given a solid fight back and we are winner today. Reason, we know very well what to do. But what wonderful thing this writer has written in his book, or he has given in his talk, that we do have the power, but there is a question: do we have the wisdom to use that power? It's very profound, my dear friends, because we all are going through lots of problems. We do have the power, don't you? We have the power to fight it back. We have the power. I mean, if virus is mutating, we are also changing our gears. We have this sanitization, then we can wear mask, and then we are preparing vaccination and many things. We can take precautions also. But virus is simply mutating, but we are more intelligent than the virus. And what a wonderful said in this particular book, that this virus is dangerous, but the more dangerous evil are actually nurturing in ourselves, in the human itself: greed, ignorance, lust, and power. Lust for the power. I should become a powerful person. I should become a powerful country. These evils are rather more damaging, and we need to see that how we can handle these evils. So my dear friends, in this particular situation, when the whole world is suffering, schools specifically have been going through a tough time, isn't it? There were times when students used to play in the playgrounds. Somewhere basketball is going on, students are playing football and then cricket, and they are hustling, bustling, and rubbing their shoulders, and there are a lot of crowd in front of the water tank, and so much happening, and all of a sudden those schools are silent. There is a bizarre silence all over. All students are idly sitting at home. We need to find ways, my dear friends, all the educators, all the teachers, principals, and worthy listeners. Yes, my daughter got an invitation to come to the school, and she's studying in 10+1, and she agreed. But up to my surprise, when she came back, she said, "Dad, today only out of 3,000 students, 90 students turned up, and she was the only one in her class. But for last 3 months, I think more than 2 months it has been, she has been visiting school twice in a week for 2 hours. Though she's alone in the classroom, but she's going. The reason, we need to fight it back. As this, Harari said, that we do have the power, but do we have the wisdom? That wisdom we need to garner, my dear friends. And today, this particular time, when technology is improving, artificial intelligence is working wonderfully well, isn't it? artificial intelligence, intelligence algorithm. These are the words actually ruling it, Artificial intelligence has seeped into us, into our system to that extent that it knows everything. How my heart beats, how many breaths I take in one minute, what I want to see, what are my interests. Because when I go to Facebook, when I go to Google, when I visit, Wikipedia, when I go for any social site, artificial intelligence is working. If I'm typing and I type once and twice and third time, the word is suggested by the artificial intelligence. It's wonderful. So many intelligent people are telling it that it is not hacking the computers. Actually, human brain are hacked nowadays. Isn't it? Yes. Because technology definitely has lot of positive. We can count it, but the same technology, if it start driving us, if it start guiding us, it sometime may become dangerous. But we need to teach our students how to handle this technology. So dear educators, what as a student of psychology, what I would suggest that there are 4 C's. One is critical thinking, another is collaborative skills, then creativity, and of course these things are more important. No doubt subjects are important, but critical thinking, collaborative skills, and then creativity, these things are extremely important. We need to inculcate these things into our students. It's the right time, because if technology is working, we teachers also need to work. We really need to work hard, because if our students are totally driven by this technology, things may turn in a different fashion. As far as information is concerned, we need not to get it more. It is already overloaded. What instead our students need to know how to make sense of this information. That is more important. I do have a lot of information, but how to make use of or sense of that information, that's very important. So it's a time of change. It's a transition phase. What we were expecting, before March, 22nd March in India, of course, March 2019. We were thinking that this time may come after 20 years or 30 years, but now we are pacing, we are heading towards a different type of world in coming, say, 10 years. For example, if a student of LKG comes to your school, within 10 years, this boy or a girl is going to see a different world around him or her, isn't it? Technology is improving manifold. It's spreading like anything, and critical thinking becomes very important. But before moving our student to the critical thinking process of analyzing, observing, and then thinking, evaluating, logical deduction, decision making, these are very important things. And I can remember one old story of a hat seller. There was a hat seller. You might have heard these all. You all teacher might have heard this story. Hat seller and monkey. I would today narrate it for you again. Enjoy this story. There was a hat seller. He used to sell hats. He would. It's 100 years old story. Yeah, you can say it is 1920. We're somewhere in the West Bengal. The person he's having those hats, big hats, because in that part of the country, while farming, while moving out, people used to wear round hats. So he was having those hats, and those hats were wrapped into one big bed sheet, and he was having it on his back and moving around. Hat seller is there, In Hindi it is known as Topiya le lo, Topiya. He's selling those hats and moving around in the mohallas and gullies and every place and selling it. He's so hardworking guy. And while moving around, it's a month of June, July, and he feels quite hot, and he sees there's a big tree, and he takes refuge under that tree. He sits there and he's having an earthen pot filled with the water, and having one potli of food. That food is wrapped in a cloth and given by his wife, and he opens it up, take out those chapatis and start eating it, and he drinks water from that earthen pot. And for few seconds he thinks to just lay down and take rest. And the moment he lays down, sun rays start peeping through those few leaves, and he picks up one of the hat and puts it on his head and just binds it and lays down. Now he can comfortably rest because those sun rays now doesn't disturb him, and he lays down. And after some time, after 15-20 minutes, he gets up, and once he gets up, he yawns and he feels fresh, and he start picking up those hats, and what he sees that the bed sheet is empty. All the hats are vanished. Not a single hat is available except one he's wearing on his head. He's amazed. He looks around, left, he looks right, he's perturbed, he cannot do anything. He's standing there, stunned, where the hat has gone. It has been stolen by whom? Because I cannot see anyone around me. And he's really, really astonished. After a few minutes, he just looks up, oh my God. And he sees so many monkeys, they are sitting there on the tree and watching him. They all are wearing those caps, red cap, blue cap, different color, multicolor cap. And this man is very furious. Hat seller becomes furious. Anybody will become furious, because if suppose you are or I am selling those hats, and that is my bread and butter, and he looks at them and he shouts, hey, come on, give my caps. And monkeys, because monkeys are also furious, and then he starts abusing them because he's furious, and he says, come on, you Anand. He hurls a few abuses. Monkey also. If we human can have those abuses, monkey, they do have their own stock, and they also delivers the same. And now there's of course there's a tussle between this hat seller and the monkey, and both are and after 10-15 minutes of tiring activity of showing his fist and then hurling abuses, and he's sweating, and he puts off that hat, and he's frustrated, and the moment he does it, all hats are thrown by all the monkeys. He's amazed because monkeys copied him. Once he threw the hats, everybody thrown. He picks up those all, puts it in the bed sheet and roll it over, put on his back, and goes back. But before going, he looks at the monkeys. Those all monkeys are quite, they are also disturbed and embarrassed and perturbed and watching at this clever man, And he looks at the monkey and says, bye-bye. And there is one moral for me. Try again, and one day you will succeed. This is what hat seller can learn out of this practice, that he did every effort. He did A, he did B, he did C, he did E, he did F, G, H, I, all A, B, C, D, E, F. He tried everything, and one thing worked, accidentally. But he tells them, okay, try, one day you will succeed. This is a moral for me as a hat seller. But there is a moral for you also, monkeys. If you want to copy somebody, you need wisdom. If you want to copy somebody, you need to be enough wise. हिंदी में बोले तो नकल के लिए भी अकल चाहिए. You need enough wisdom to copy. Okay? Remember, he says to the monkey, and he bye-bye, he goes back. So monkeys are stunned. Story does not stop here. It doesn't, it doesn't finish here. Rather, it starts from here. After 1920, now this is 2020. Present era, present time. Now this hat seller Now he's not selling those hats while going into the streets and mohallas and gullies. No, he's having those zipper back on his back. There's a zipper bag. You might have seen those Zomato and those Flipkart bag, zipper bag filled with the caps, and he's on his bike. That bike is a beautifully bike, those Pulsar and 100cc, 200cc. He's having those headphones of iPhone and beautiful helmet, and he's just having those wonderful way and moving around. Kaho na kaho ye aankhein. I mean, he's singing song in his own language, and enjoying. And all of a sudden he looks at that tree, the same tree. Tree can be stand tall for years, for 300 or 400 years. After 100 years it happens. He stops there. He sees that all over mall and people, so many colleges, and of course hustling and bustling place. But that tree has been preserved. It has been cemented so that people can sit over there. He said that okay, it's again June and July same, and he parks his bike over there. He sits over there, and he takes out that bottle of Milton, because now it is modern era. He sips few water, and then he keeps, and then there is a Tupperware modern tiffin box. He opens it up and he eats food and enjoys, and he again thinks that let me take some rest, and same he does. He lays down. Same place, same way. It is accidental. Probability is less, but it may happen. It happened, And the same way, the same sun rays are disturbing. He picks up one of the, out of that zip, he picks one cap and then he takes rest, dropping his face. After 20 minutes, he gets up. And the moment he gets up, again he takes a yawn and he looks at the bag, and the bag is empty. All the hats are missing. He laughs. He laughs boisterously, he laughs. He knows very well that where those hats have gone. He laughs, and he looks up. When he looks up, he can see those all monkeys sitting and wearing those caps and looking at him, and they are also laughing. They are also giggling and laughing, and then he's also laughing. He doesn't become angry at all, He's learned like me. He has done MBA, MA, MSc, BTech, and he's a learned man, of course. MBA trainees also go for these kind of jobs, no doubt. Even though I'm learning, but because for my internship I may go. So he's a learned man. He knows very well. He knows. He knows it. He knows the story very well. So he laughs, and then he hurls few kisses. Monkeys also hurl few kisses. He said, okay, I love you. And the monkey also says, we love you too. And he said, oh my God, you can speak English. They say, yes, we can speak English. English speaking, Rapidex English speaking course. And my dear, we have a Google also. Come up. There's a college around, we sometimes went and we stole some part of it. We have 5G, okay? Geo, I have every setup is there. And we have a library also. Stephen Covey, John Maxwell, Peter Drucker, everything is available. We have a He said, my God, what a progress we all have made. You people know how to speak English, and the books you have been reading. They say, yes, we are. After, dancing, jiving with them and enjoying 15-20 minutes, now he thinks that now it is time to go back. Now I need to collect my caps, and he puts off one of the cap, and he just, he hurl it in the air. Everybody does the same. He again do it. Everybody does the same. And then after doing few of round of such kind of gimmicks, he throws that cap down and wait. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No. None of the cap. No. Not a single cap is thrown by any of the monkey. He's stunned now. Earlier he was learned. He knew very well that I know the story very well. This is the way I'm going to get it. Then he feel little bit embarrassed. Again he picks up the cap and again he does the all gimmicks, and monkey also does all the gimmicks. They hurl it. Whatever he does, all monkey did the same. But when he threw the cat, none of the single monkey did the same. He did it so many times. He picks it up, he hurl it out, he does it everything. Then he count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, second time, third time, fourth time. After half an hour, he's exasperated, exhausted, and he asked them, why? I knew. Story tells this has to be happen in the same way. So one of the monkey jumps down. He stands, close to the man. Now monkey, man, monkey. And while looking into each other's eyes, monkey slaps man. Patak! And man says, why? Monkey says, what do you think? Monkey says to the man, what do you think? Only you have had grandparents. We also have had great grandparents. They told us so many stories, and one of this story was told by our parents, generation to generation, that one man came and befooled us. And we were looking for you one day, my dear friend. We are not going to give back your caps and this. He tells it, and he climbs a tree. Now this miserable man, he picks up his bag and he tries to go back. One of the monkey, look back! And the man looks back at them. He says, last time you gave us one moral. You gave us moral. You need to be enough wise, to imitate somebody. Today we will give you one moral. Time and tide waits for none. Time once gone is bygone. So kindly change, because time and tide wait for none. So my dear friends, story ends up now here. And a great moral I have learned from this story, that with passage of time, we need to change. And this is the time which has come around. Definitely, academics have its own importance. But in the coming years, I tell you, my dear friends, things are going to change overnight. Things are going to change in the coming 10, 15 years. The guy who is, 5 years today, once he will reach into the college at the age of 20 or 21, this world will change. It will change drastically. Which job he is going to do, we are not sure. This has happened first time in the history of mankind when employability is not confirmed. This is a truth. This is a time in 1850, in 1920, in 1950, in 2000, things were predictable. Isn't it, my dear friends? Yes, it was quite predictable. Yeah, if you follow this, you can become that. If I'm a cobbler, my son can become a cobbler. If I'm a farmer, my son can become a farmer. If I'm doing this, he can do that. Things cannot be, it could not be. Now the things have become so unpredictable. It's a kind of volatile, uncertain, ambiguous situation. It is not sure what is going to happen tomorrow. Possibly I might have spent 50 or 40 years working in one field, and all of a sudden that field becomes redundant. Yes, in the coming years, our generation is going to face this. It is quite obvious that earlier what we used to do, that I am experienced in particular thing and I have done this thing for 20 years. Now I can encash those 20 years. No. This is not the way which is going to happen. Those 20 years may become zero. Yeah, you have had that experience, but that experience may not give you employment. So what is exactly going to happen? We don't know, isn't it? things will be changing so fast. Artificial intelligence and logarithm intelligence, these both are going to take the world in their stride. I mean, things will be unpredictable. And for that, we need to prepare our young generation so that they become resilient. What we need to teach them, that how situation changes, and with the change of the situation, can you change yourself? That is a big question. The question is, there are two questions I would like to ask. What should we teach students to survive? And I emphasize on this particular thing, that yes, we need to teach our students how to survive, because survival itself is going to become very, very, it's so important, how to survive. And second, what kind of skills a student needs in order to get a job. Yes, he can be an engineer, he can be a doctor. You know very well that in coming 10 years, there would be 10 AI doctors. My mobile phone itself will become a doctor. Just I'm holding my mobile and everything, my heartbeat, my pulse, my blood pressure, everything. So 100 crore doctors can be created, So I'm at least physician, or the person, the people who the phone, that doctor which can prescribe medicine, who can prescribe medicine. So even autopilot, airplanes are going to be, so many things are going to change. Automatically driven vehicles. So how these things are going to be faced by our tiny tots today? Those students who are studying in nursery, UKG, LKG, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, they are going to face a world which is going to give a lot of uncertainty. So what I personally believe in 50 years of experience of my own life, teaching in school and then colleges and then in corporates and working with a lot of addicts, all around the India, specifically in Punjab, Haryana and Delhi. I have offered myself as a volunteer, visited more than 150 schools and colleges. What I have experienced in my life, that these students of present day, they need critical thinking. It's a skill. They need collaborative skills. They need, creativity. They need how to handle criticism. They need how to handle those situations which are frequently changing. Frequently. In last 9 months, so drastic changes have happened. Things have become, it has opened up. So many positivity. So we need to, give so much time on the mind. There's a beautiful story. I would take few minutes, it is in the name of, it is a Sufi story. In Junaid, he was known for his, his intelligence, his wisdom. So he was going in a market. It's an old story, but some stories are so contemporary. It applies in the present world also. He's going with swimming, his disciples, and he looks at one man. He's pulling one cow, and he's pulling that cow, and cow is moving, and he's moving ahead, and then he's holding that rope and moving around. And he asked his disciple, who is the master and who is servant? So everybody says that cow is servant, and cow, of course, that cow is his animal, and he's the master, and cow is following him. So they are moving. He calls him, the man who is keeping the rope of that cow. He calls him, and he come here. He goes there, and he takes out one Caesar out of his pocket, and he cuts that rope, and all of a sudden cows start running in another direction, opposite direction. And that man who knows Junaid very well, and his such type of his erratic behavior, or seems to be, and he just he runs behind that cow so that he can catch hold of it. Now he asked again his disciples, who is the master and who is the servant? Now it seems that cow is the master and that cow man is the servant, because now he's running behind that cow. Same is with us. Am I the master of my mind, or my mind is my master? It's a very important thing. If I am the master of my mind, then my mind, my monkey mind, is my servant. I can use that mind for any purpose. Because if my mind is my master, then it's a trouble. Now I will not be able to handle the things, because my mind can be guided by anyone. You see around, you all are intelligent people, how these, this media, everything is, is playing with our mind. This is called artificial intelligence. You go to the Google, you ask for one thing, 2 times, 3rd time, things will pop up in front of you and you will be busy with that. AI is watching you, how you move, what do you like, what do you eat, what do you listen, how do you think. Your mind can be read very easily, and then technologies start guiding us, and this is what's happening. We may not see those things happening in the world, but we can see those things happening in front of us on the screen, and we may find it true. So my dear friends, it's very important that today's student who are studying physics, chemistry, mathematics, languages, history, all are important. But along with these all subjects, we need to, teach them, because critical thinking cannot be taught. Critical thinking or resilience cannot be learned by reading books. Yes, we can get some idea, but how resilience can be learned? But we need to teach them those resilience, so we need to involve them in number of projects. I mean, Wang Shuk is one of the ideal way to do it. You might have heard about this Wang Shuk, the 3 Idiot. I heard this man. He's running school in Leh, and the school which he is running, that school has one criteria to give admission. Only those students are eligible who got failed in the 10th class. The eligibility criteria to get admission in the school is to get fail. It doesn't mean that you first ask people. It's just a project I'm just sharing with you. It's so wonderful that when I came to know, oh my God, and out of those students who failed in 10th class, student got admitted. The same students are responsible for the solar energy, the same students are responsible for the labs, the same students are responsible for the kitchen, the same students are responsible for the garden, the same students are responsible even for maintenance of the building, and they are doing it. And number of those students have become IAS, one of that student have become member of parliament, MLA also. So these are amazing results we can see around. So my dear educators, my dear teachers, my dear educationists, it's a time for change. The story which I told you, no doubt these subjects are very important, but the biggest threat to the mankind is ignorance. The biggest threat to the mankind is greed. The biggest threat to the mankind is hatred. The biggest threat to the mankind is obsessive thinking about power. Those evils, those threats can be handled only once we prepare these students as a critical thinker, collaborative, who can work in team, who can face situation, who can come forward and who can lead us. So dear friends, let's build these students into leaders. There is a paucity of good leaders. Technocrats are available. If I talk about technocrats, Engineer E. Sridharan, one of my all-time favorite. How this man could do? At the age of 60, he's handling those projects, of Konkan Railways. He went to Japan. He brought that technology. He did it in 7 years. At the age of 67, 68, he became, chairman to the Delhi Metro. He handled that project. A man of 80 years is handling Delhi Metro. Isn't it amazing? How? These are the people who changed with the time. Because time and tide wait for none. So we need to build leaders. All the students who are studying in the classes today are not mere technicians, are not mere, engineers or doctors, or they need to become resilient. They need to become thinkers. They need to become leaders. And the best way is to involve them in the projects, is to involve them from the very beginning. To ask them to handle the whole project, to ask them to handle those small projects. They can make their own, the way UNO handles the things, they also make it. They do. And number of you might be having the same coincidence what I'm talking about. You might be applying these techniques in your schools, but number of them are not. So let involve those students in those, all the function, all the projects. Let them handle those situations. Let them face those setbacks. Let them become resilient. Let them become emotionally intelligent. And in this way, we are going to build a place where we can keep pace with the technology. Otherwise, you can see those one number of our students becoming zombie. They are busy on their mobile phone, they are playing video games, they are searching on the net, and they are moving in the streets even, and they don't know where they are moving even. We need to make that awareness in those students. And who else can do better than you people? So dear friends, let's build a new world where technology should not guide our young minds. Rather, young minds should know how to make this technology their own servant. Thank you very much.
Truly such inspirational and positive vibe at the moment. Thank you so much, sir, for your golden and enriching words. Many a times we do come across people, different personalities, those who have dedicated their life for the good of humanity, and especially people, those who serve for the good of education, so that education reaches each and every corner of this world. One such personality is whom we are going to welcome now. We welcome Miss Jayashree Kedambi. She's working as a special educator with children at Sankalp, the open school. With a huge round of applause, let's welcome Miss Jayashree Kedambi for her session.
Hi everybody, this is Jayashree. I'm a special educator working at Sankalp, the open school in Chennai. Today it gives me immense joy, and it's a great honor to be here among you all. I would like to thank the Educational Icon Awards for having me here in this forum this evening. Being an educator, I always believe that we must provide a very holistic atmosphere to the children, right? So now this term has become very common, and it is frequently used among the educators, right? So what is holistic? Can anybody guess what it is? Yes, whole is nothing but finding your whole self. So holistic is nothing but being very natural, trying to find who you are and trying to find the I in me. That is what is holistic. That is very important for everybody as an individual to identify where you are, who you are. That is the one thing that will help us in the overall development. And yes, holistic is also developing channelizing all the five senses. It is emotional development. It is social and physical development. It's everything, or the overall development. That is what is holistic. Now, when it comes to education, friends, it is not just a one-man show. It is a teamwork. So it is a triangle of parent, student, and the teacher. So all the three combined together only forms education. So I would like to very happily share today that in my class the children create the lesson plans. The what I mean to say is, they actually when we provide the freedom, when we give them the choice of expression and things like that, what happens is they teach you a lot. It is like how when we sow a seed and we observe that plant growing at every step, right? When we take care that it has the right amount of water and it gets the right amount of sunlight and things like that, correct? So this is a classic example of how a plant grows from a seed to a tree, right? Similarly, the child also, when it is born from the fetus, and it grows step by step and transforms into a beautiful adult, right? So it is the same process. So when you go and stand in front of a tree, observe the veins very closely. You will find so many beautiful things. The messages that it conveys is enormous. So it is the same logic, my dear friends. We have to observe our children very closely, every moment, every gesture, how they express, how they eat, how they talk, everything. So that is when we are providing a very holistic atmosphere to them. So why we should provide holistic atmosphere? It is very important to know, because when a child is growing, they say that the prime age is between 0 to 7 years old. That is when it is like a clay. That child can be molded in any shape, any form, any color, anything. So it is all how you feed the child from the newborn to the 7 years old, which is what will reflect when they grow older and get into their 30s and 40s. So it is very important for us to feed the right kind of things in their mind, so that they carry those memories, and now we all know that holistic education is very important. Not only education, friends, it is also very important to give a holistic parenting. Yes, holistic parenting is something that you might sound strange, or it might sound very new to you all, but it is something that is already existing. It's nothing new. It is very important that they get the right kind of atmosphere, very peaceful atmosphere at home, for them to develop their whole self. So how do we create an atmosphere like this? It is a very big question mark these days, because all of us as educators, as parents, and we all have our own day-to-day routines to do, and especially during this pandemic, it has become very stressful for everybody, and it is so overwhelming for all of us to handle all these things. So where do we find how do we get this atmosphere? How do we make it more cheerful and peaceful for everybody? Not only the child, but everybody needs to lead a peaceful life, right? So the first thing, the secret is within us. Okay, so all of us as a child would have done so many things that that would have given us a lot of pleasure, because when we are a child, we don't worry, we don't have many responsibilities, right? So we just do what we want to. Now let me tell you an example from my life itself. When I was a child, when I used to go to school, I had to take a bus to go to school and even come back from school also. So when I used to come back, My house was not right in front of the bus stop or anything. I had to get off the bus and then walk a little bit to reach home. So on these, when I used to walk from the bus stop to home, on the way there used to be a lot of gooseberry trees and all that. So my friends and I, we used to talk, chat, play, and slowly we used to come home. Like we don't want to go home so quickly, because that is the cherishing moment for us, right? So I used to enjoy. We used to throw stones on that gooseberry trees and pluck the gooseberries, climb on the trees. All these things was very joyful and still fresh in my memory. And similarly, all of us as a child will have some kind of a memory in us. So go back to those wonderful moments. Try to carry the wonderful things from the past. All of us have ups and downs. So let us carry only the wonderful things that has happened in our life. So as we grow, we all get engrossed with our daily lifestyle, right? Especially in this competitive world, everywhere it is a lot of competition, not only for the children but also for us at work. There is a lot of competition, right? So we all have to cope up with our own challenges that we come across, because life is not rosy, as all of us know. So what I would suggest is go back to your memories and find out what is your passion, what is it that you were doing earlier and you just left it somewhere, and it's not leaving somewhere, but it is there somewhere hidden in you, and you have just got engrossed with your own life. So just try to identify that. For me, I was never an athlete, suddenly this running and cycling came into my life and it has become a passion for me. So for me, I found that way which could calm me down. So now I spend that 1 hour for myself. So that me time, that is called as me time. So that me time, whether it is a working mother or a homemaker or anybody, especially the ladies have to engage themselves in that me time. It is very important because most of the women, or not most of the women, all the women do multitasking, right? So to cope up with all these many challenges, they have to balance their family life. If they are living in a joint family, they have to balance with all the family members. If they are working, they have to balance between their work, juggle between their work and their home life, and manage their children also. So that me time is very essential for any individual. Okay, so identify that. So for me, when I run, when I cycle, that gives me very it is very soothing for me. That is my meditation. So try to identify. You might have been doing some kind of a craft work, or you might have been into music in your early childhood, and something, it's all hidden in us. So try to identify what it is, and when you try to do that, it becomes more peaceful, more calming, and it is automatically going to give you that holistic feeling within you. So when you make yourself holistic, that is when you can actually give the holistic atmosphere to your child. So giving the holistic atmosphere as a parent is very important for the child to grow up. So now when it comes to the child, what are the things we can do with the child, right? The first thing is trust. Trusting them is very important. You have to trust their instincts. For a small child, or sometimes now, or many mothers, they have this habit of, oh, my child is not eating, my child's appetite is very bad, and they try to force. But try to blend with the nature. As I said, you're observing every vein of the child. So try to blend with the nature of the child. Then only you will understand whether the child is having the right amount of food, or it is sometimes more than enough for the child. You have to feed the child in portions. It is not to be fed at a time. So it is like something like when we wear a tight cloth, we are attached to a cloth, for example, a dress, beautiful, it's a beautiful dress, right? So we are so attached to it that even if it is tight, we try to force it. So what will happen? Yes, it is going to tear apart, right? The same principle applies here also. So when we try to force things, we should never force. That is the main secret, we should never force things and impose our rules, impose our ideas, and impose our wishes on them. Or there are many people who try to say that, oh, I have not achieved this in my childhood, let my child become this. No, they are an individual. Respect that. The second thing we have to remember is respect. Respect every individual, whether it is a 3-year-old toddler or whether it is a teenager, it doesn't matter, or even an adult. So respect every individual, respect their feelings, give them the space to express their thoughts. Do not assume that, okay, we are adults, they have to listen to us because we are older to them. No, that is very, very wrong actually. So we have to give them the space to express themselves, listen to them, be a good listener. When will you become a good listener? Again, making yourself holistic, finding yourself. So find that then only all these things are possible. So giving that me time is very important for a parent. All of us have become parents at one point of time in life, right? So it is very important that we do this frequently. And the first thing is I spoke about trust. The second thing is respect, right? Giving and taking, the sharing part. So now the next part is give and take. So what will you give and take? Yes, the give and take can be so many things, friends. It is we have to teach the children the sharing and caring. It starts from home. Start with their siblings itself. Okay, you have to share the toys. Just because one family they are coming from a rich family background or a wealthy family, it doesn't mean that we have to give them all that they are asking for. No, do not do that. Give them that opportunity to blend with each other. If there's a toy, if they are playing with a toy, let them share. Okay, the sharing and caring starts from home, and then go one step ahead. Give them an explanation saying that, see, this cloth is this dress is so beautiful, still in good condition, but it is still not fitting you, right? So let us donate to the people who are in need of it. Let me give an example on this. What I did for this Diwali, I have 2 boys, so I just decided that this time I want my children also to get into the community service mode. So what I did was we went to the orphanage and celebrated our Diwali with 100 children, 100 orphans, right? So that was a beautiful moment for all of us. The children, when we actually distributed the sweets and savories to all these children, it was so joyful, and the smiles that we saw on their faces was just immense. And these children are so intelligent, I could see that they all will be the budding stars in the future. So it is our responsibility as a parent or an adult to nurture them with care, so that they will become a beautiful human and a very wonderful citizen in the future. And understanding their emotions, that is the next point. Understanding their emotions. Yes, all of us as parents have our priorities, right? But set your priorities, but first give them the chance to express, whether it is crying or anger or whatever. Yes, when it comes to we say that there is this 3 years, when the child gets to 3-year-old, we say 3-year tantrums and things like that. We give different names to all these things. And when a teenager, we all know they go through different changes in their body, and Yes, I was actually wondering why my son is not looking at the mirror. I've heard so many teenage parents say that, oh, my child is spending so much time in the bathroom, in the, in shower and things like that. So one day when he actually began to see the mirror, I was overwhelmed with joy as a mother. Oh wow, my son is a teenager now. So let them grow. Do not think that is something abnormal. We also grew like that only. So it is very important for us to allow them to grow naturally and teach them the right things at the appropriate time. So I hope this would give you, actually parenting, the topic itself is such a vast topic. It would take many sessions for me to cover many points, but I would like to say to all the parents here that please care your child, observe them very closely like every vein of the leaf. So that will give you an idea, and spend time with nature, go blend with nature, try to teach them simple things in life. They might be so stressed out, so then just tell them, okay, let's go for a walk outside. That will give them such a pleasure. Or just drive down to the beach and say that, okay, let us make the sand castle today. So these are simple things. Like I said, when I used to pluck those gooseberries and while coming back from school, all these things are the joyous moment that our child will carry forward as they grow into an adult, and they will be very thankful. Whether you're a teacher or a parent, be the one that who can be remembered in a good way. Okay, create memories. Whether you're a teacher or a parent, create memories that the child can carry. They should say that, okay, my parent was this, my teacher was this. That is what the memory you should give them. So make it holistic, whether it is education or parenting, it should be holistic. If it is, when it comes to the classroom setting, again bring the nature into it. Even when I take classes, I try to implement a lot of theater and drama, and using natural props. I ask the children to collect the props, natural things, like when I'm adding, when I'm showing them simple addition, we just go to the garden and just say, pick up the 2 twigs and say 1 + 1 = 2. So something very naturally they all can learn. And even in the ancient Gurukulam, our tradition has such beautiful things. So the Gurukulam concept is very, it was innovative, and I think it should be implemented even in the current situation. So it is very, Gurukulam concept again has been very holistic. If you see, in those days there was no alarm. In Gurukulams there is no alarm, or the children used to go to the river or some lake nearby, and then they used to have their shower. All these things are in nature. That's what the education was given, through nature. They didn't have a sophisticated bed or anything. All thatched roof and the natural bamboo mats and things like that. It's all nature. It is. They were so healthy that even our grandfathers, our fathers and mothers, everybody have been so natural. So let us try to bring that nature back with us. When we have nature with us, I think everything is going to be beautiful. So I thank once again the team of Educational Icon Awards for giving me this wonderful opportunity to express what is holistic parenting. I look forward for many more sessions in the future. I wish all the awardees very good luck and success in all their endeavors. Thank you.
I'm sure after listening to such golden and energizing words, wherever we are all filled with that positive vibe and energy. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your golden words. After such an enriching and motivating speech, now we have Ms. Pritika Sharma, the Global Education Counselor with her session. With a huge round of applause, let's welcome her.
So, a very good evening to all of you present out there. Thanks Tony and Kites Education for inviting me here for this webinar. I would like to thank each one of you and taking your time out and being here with us today for today's webinar. We will be running a question answer round towards the end. So if you have missed anything during the webinar and you come across any sort of query later, so we'll be sharing our email ID and contact number. To start with, I would like to introduce myself. I am Pratika Sharma, an education advisor and career counselor. So I am offering my services in the education industry for the last 26 years, and I have tried to guide, advise and support the students to make their dreams come true. So today I am with a new topic which is bothering, I should say, all the 12th pass outs and those who are in high school grades, and that is why new skills, why new age careers, why is the need of these new skills in this post-COVID or new normal world. So I am going to take up these topics with you today, and I'll be sharing each thing in detail with all the skills required to pursue these careers. To start with, I would like to mention Peter Drucker. He has very nicely said, the only skill that will be valued and important in the 21st century will be the skill of learning new skills. Everything else will become obsolete over time. So as per a report submitted by the Future of Job Report 2018 by the World Economic Forum, it postulates that generic skills will no longer hold good. Instead, two types of skills they will be coming to the fore. First, those with highly evolved technical capabilities like artificial intelligence, virtual reality and data robotics. And second, human skills, sales and marketing, management, training and development, organizational development, etc. This data clearly shows that while half of the skills needed to succeed in the future are cognitive, the other 50% focuses on connection and collaboration at work. So gone are the days when a career in beauty, wellness, animation seemed to be out of the box and limited prospects. But today, these are the highly lucrative career options. The trend of today's world is think beyond, think ahead. These emerging careers offer a chance to be on the leading edge of their fields. Even for adults, a shift within their career field to a new role or to a new responsibility injects a dose of freshness and energy. So same is happening with the students. They are exhausted, they are fed up with the rote learning and the conventional courses. A student interested in sciences doesn't have much choices apart from pursuing a field into medical college or doing a simple graduation as a bachelor in sciences. A student interested to pursue physics, chemistry, maths will end up either with engineering course, conventional engineering course or any bachelor program related to these three subjects. And then commerce, BCom and CA. For humanities, BA. So these were the conventional programs which were, one of the favorite programs amongst the students. But today I am going to take up all the new age careers and the skills required to pursue these careers. To name a few: artificial intelligence, robotics, digital marketing, mechatronics, museum curator, interpreter, marine biology, genetic counselor, immunologist, sports psychology, forensic accountancy, forensic scientist, sports psychologist, sports journalist. So these are few careers which student can pick up from the already existing 4 baskets, that is physics, chemistry, mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, humanities, commerce, either with maths or without maths. So, with the growing technological advancement, we need new age skills for new age careers. For example, if you are a student and you like biology and you love working with the technology, so biosciences is the field. So right from vaccine production to genetic modification, biosciences is everywhere, right? To speak on genetic counselor, this is again a highly in-demand program. To pursue a career as a genetic counselor, the skill needed are problem solving, social perceptiveness, critical thinking, judgment and decision making. And the job prospects are, a person who is going to pursue a career as a genetic counselor is going to understand medical and familiar implications of the genetic contribution to the diseases. Then marine biologist, a very interesting course, the study of aquatic organisms, their behavior, their interaction with the environment, and the skill needed to pursue these courses. A student should be excellent in research, critical thinking, judgment, decision making. Immunologist, post-COVID, this is the highly in-demand program. So a person need to be very good acquainted with research, critical thinking, deductive reasoning. Let's switch over to something interesting, fashion consultant. So fashion consultants are the people, they are artistic individuals who offer expert advice and make recommendation to people or companies about how to expand and develop a wardrobe that promotes their social and public image. And the skills needed to pursue a career as a fashion consultant is social perceptiveness, service orientation, urge to learn global trends. Only then you can deliver your services. And then industrial design. A person who is going to make it as a career, he is going to manage production process so that they can lower the cost of the production and maximize the level of output of the production process. The skill needed to be an industrial designer is mathematics, problem solving, writing, communication, creativity. Typography. In this new normal, everything is happening online. We have entered a virtual world. I am interacting with each one of you virtually. So typographers are the experts who design or type for online and print publications. So definitely they need to be creative, they need to be blessed with spatial ability and technical skills, and above all communication skills. So a person who is interested to pursue a career in a non-conventional way but still confused between physics, chemistry, biology, physics, chemistry and maths, such a student always have an edge. So the option is medical electronics, where he can justify and satisfy his or her interest of mixing biology and mathematics. This is the discipline which integrates engineering with biomedical sciences and clinical practice. Again, the skills are problem solving, troubleshooting skills, research-based approach, communication, because it's going to be a combination of engineering and medicine, teamwork, which is highly needed. And then occupational therapy. We are in the world of service. A person who is ready to offer service is valued, always have an edge. So seeing a person who wishes to study physics, chemistry, biology in a non-conventional, non-traditional course this is one of the right programs for that person. So in it, the person is going to utilize certain techniques to help patient perform daily activities more efficiently after an accident or a trauma. And an occupational therapist needs to have physical strength and interpersonal skills. And the person should be good with problem solving and organizational skills. Museum curator. I would like to share one incident. 2-3 days back, I had a session with high school students, and one student raised a question. Ma'am, I love studying history. What are the prospects for me? I don't want to pursue undergrads in history only. So for such students, interdisciplinary programs, multidisciplinary programs are the programs which they can look into. And job prospects are museum curators. Museum curators, they are going to involve understanding of their organization and management. They are technically trained. Again, you need to be good with your communication, you need to be good with relationship building, you need to be good with your flair of understanding history. If we talk about organizational psychology focuses on physical and mental well-being of performance of employees within an organization and how the workplace affects attitude, productivity, motivation, overall job satisfaction. This is the new in demand. This program, almost all the MNCs or highly reputed companies, they are hiring organizational psychologists. And the person needs to be blessed with data analysis, research, problem sensitivity, complex decision making, sound judgment, because you are going to share your decision with others. And then sports psychology. Everyone can't be a player, and you have a passion for the crowd. You have a passion to be surrounded with people who are into sports, and you love studying their psychology, studying their behavior, studying the ifs and buts of this field. Then sports psychology is right for you. So the job of a sports psychologist is to tutor at the college level or work with athletes to improve performance. Additional options consist of client counseling, scientific study, as well as sports consulting. These days, almost all the reputed sports people, they are hiring sports psychologists because they face a lot of stress, and sometimes they need someone to release that stress, and they also go through some de-stress activities. So sports psychology is the field where you can offer your services to, but you need to be equipped with empathetic attitude, problem sensitivity, organizational capability, understanding the sports domain. Another interesting field is sports journalism. Earlier we have heard a generic journalism program, bachelor in journalism, but these days every field has super specialized areas. Like for example, sports journalism, media journalism. So the person who is going to take up the job as a sports journalist, it is the task of informing, entertaining people about all the happening in the realm of sports via various media. And then the skills required are language skills, undoubtedly probing, articulatory skills, and research. So this is how, if you want to excel in this new age world, new normal, post-COVID, and this VUCA world, you need to be blessed with these new age skills. To survive, to excel, and to make your own place, you need to use 4 basic skills. You need to know how to collaborate. You are supposed to be innovative. You should be creative enough. Only then you can excel. Because earlier these skills were needed by the industry, work industry, but these days even in the courses, for example, you are going to pursue your undergrad in multidisciplinary program. So you need to be good with how to create the ideas. Even though you are pursuing your history major or psychology major or biology major, you need to know how to collaborate. You need to how to use your innovation. So this is how new age, new skills, new world. So this is how after sharing my knowledge on new age career, the nutshell is conventional courses might lead you towards career stagnation. And to keep a pace with upcoming change, the need of the hour is to analyze the hidden skill the inbuilt skill which is within you, but you need to discover yourself. You need to know. You need to bring it out and then enhance it, utilize it to take a deep dive into the career path. So this is how you can pursue towards 21st century skills, new age courses. So any one of you is left with any sort of query or any questions, we will be open for the QA round. Kindly post your question in the chat box. We'll be taking your questions. So in the end, I would like to thank each one of you. We appreciate you being here with us. Thanks again for joining us today, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
After such an energizing session, I'm sure we all are motivated, encouraged towards building education. Finally, the wait is over. Education Icon Awards 2020, organized by Kites Craft Production, values, respects, and celebrates the contribution put in by each and every one of you for the growth of education. And we feel the privilege and honor to award you during the Education Icon Awards 2020. Without much delay, put your hands together for all the awardees of Education Icon Awards 2020. session today was so special for each and every one of us. Getting to hear such golden words from amazing personalities who were present today. And above all, our awardees during the Education Icon Awards, we celebrate each and every one of you. And we at Kites Craft Production make sure that education is celebrated and awarded. Through your contribution, through your valuable lessons, we have come a long way. And yet, miles to go before we sleep. This whole session was really special, and above all, the award function comes to an end with a sweet smile on my face, and I'm sure wherever you are, you have that smile too. Thank you once again for tuning in. During this Education Icon Awards 2020, I, Tony Thomas, on behalf of Kites Craft Production, thank each and every one of you for your valuable time and presence. This is Tony Thomas signing out.